Principle 7, apply cadence, synchronize with cross-domain planning. Let's look into the term cadence and synchronization. And I think that's the whole intent this particular principle is trying to explain to us. So what is cadence? In my view, cadence is like a rhythm of doing something, a rhythm, a pattern. Many times in agile way of working, we equate cadence with time boxing. We have a time box iteration, we have time box PI duration. So there's a cadence, that's a rhythm which we are following. Now the question may arise, can we have non-time boxed cadence as well? Yes, there could be a rhythm. So I usually give this example when I teach in the SAFe class, a doctor. So say there is an eye specialist and you want to go in a OPD, you want to visit and take some advice. Now, a hospital may be getting such kind of a custom randomly coming. And if they start making list of who all wants to meet and then contact the doctor and then contact the patient, you can assume how complicated that process could be. So what instead the hospital will do, they will publish a cadence of the doctor, rhythm of a doctor. You can say, okay, this particular doctor is available every Wednesday, 6 to 7. So if you want to schedule something, you can book on Wednesday, 6 to 7. So at least we have a one rhythm is fixed. Now you need to see if this Wednesday is good for you, or next Wednesday is good for you, there is a next Thursday is good for you. You find out that particular thing and you go accordingly. Yeah, do see it's an OPD space. The emergency you can walk in any point in time, and in your development space there could be an emergency part as well which need to be taken care separately. But here it's more like a rhythmic part, which is your main business thing which you are planning and you wanted to have a rhythm around it. So having this particular pattern brings some kind of certainty. You are clear when this is going to happen. It also makes you clear about how long you have to wait. So having this cadence also makes wait time predictable. So if it's a Tuesday today, I know how many days I need to wait before I can meet that particular doctor, but I have a predictability of a wait time. Now, if there is some uncertainties, so those uncertainties might be limited to this particular duration only. So we can say if we have a problem in a given iteration, if we have some variance in a given iteration, that variance is limited to that particular iteration only. We can learn from it and then decide what to do differently in the next iteration. So it also helps us in creating a container in which we are doing integrated development and we are learning based on what we are doing. And you can see the previous principles which we have explored needs some amount a cadence in order to implement them. Say you want to have fast integrated learning cycle. Yeah, so there has to be a pattern for those cycles, those learning cycle. You want to measure the progress based on objective evaluation of working system. You need to have a pattern so that on that pattern, all the systems are ready for your objective evaluation. The teams are ready, the stakeholders are ready. You want to have a like kind of a scheduled interaction with your stakeholder. If you don't do that, you may also face a difficulty in getting the right stakeholders on an appropriate time because they don't know, they can't fix their calendar based on your prediction if you are not giving it in advance. So having this cadence, having this rhythmic pattern makes us clear about working with other teams. And that's the whole idea which SAFe is also recommending to us. So practically speaking, we need to have a rhythm at a team level. You may call it iteration. You have an iterative frequency. You have a rhythm at an agile release train level. You call it program increment rhythm, which might be 8 to 12 weeks, but we are following those rhythmic patterns, which helps us in learning and managing our variability and bringing some amount of predictability in our way of working. Now, the second part of it is synchronize with cross-domain planning. So I go back to the doctor thing, assuming the doctor also needs some support staff to support that particular event. Now, those people who are expected to support the doctor, they may also follow a rhythm, but their rhythm and the doctor rhythm has to be synchronized. It should not happen. The support staff is available one day before and the doctor is available on the next day. And as a customer or as a patient, I'm confused about it. So we need to synchronize the different domain areas in such a way so that their pattern starts matching. And the match pattern helps us in giving feedback from each other, and we can do an integrated plan, we can do an integrated evaluation of how we are moving forward for the next duration. So in the scaled agile way of working, you have a multiple teams. So assuming if each team follow a cadence, but if their cadence are not synchronized, we may not be able to have a system level thinking, or we may not be able to achieve a system level view of where do we stand, how we are doing at a given point in time. So the recommendation from scaled agile is that we need to synchronize these all cadences. So in a simple word, we can understand that the iteration start and iteration end of a different teams who are participating as a same group as an agile release train are expected to be same, are expected to be matching, so that they can do a joint planning, they can do a joint learning, because both the teams or multiple teams are ready at the same time. Say I'm a team A, you are a team B, and I want some dependency on you. I am doing planning today, and if we are not synchronized, you might be doing planning next week. I ask you, can you consider this in your next week planning? You may say, we will consider it, but I can't commit you because we have not planned. Now I make some assumption. After 1 week, you tell that, okay, during your planning thing, that thing could not work out. Now I am in a problem because I need to readjust my plan. Rather than having this, if both of us are planning on the same day, we can talk about it. We will know, is it going to happen or not going to happen in the beginning itself, so that we can adjust our integrated plan. So having this synchronization helps us in creating integrated planning, integrated reviews, integrated learning from our experiences, because our cadences are synchronized. So that's the whole idea. One of the big example of cadence and synchronization, which you might see in scaled agile framework, is a PI planning meeting, the program increment planning meeting, where different like requirement guys are also participating, business guys are also participating, the technology people are also there, development team is also there, and everybody is planning for the next PI duration. They are planning for different domain. The business might be planning for what kind of a business releases they want to give to the end customer. What the development team might be planning what all they want to do as a development for the next say 10 weeks if the PI duration is, but everything is planning in synchronization. So at the end of a PI planning meeting, the plan which we produce, is expected to be taking care of all the domains. And that helps us in creating good synchronization along with cadence. And that's a great example which you can learn about from Scaled Agile framework.com. So that's the principle number 7, which is talking about cadence and synchronization.